thought I wasn't allowed the angels going up and down trees like that. Read your Bible.
Read your word.
Easy levels. Oh, thank you. And it's just we're doing is a test. Test 1 2. My head keeps. It's a test. Test 1 2. Oh, test 1 2. Mic check. And we're done. Mic check 1.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Relax, Relate, Debrief. I'm your older sister, Nikki.
I'm the younger sister, Jackie.
And we are two real-life sisters that get together and just talk. Listen, while you are tuning in to our podcast, we hope that you are able to relax. We hope that we're able to bring some type of relief. And most of all, just debrief. So just sit down and chat with us. If it is your first time here, please do us a favor. I know you're going to enjoy it, so don't worry about waiting till the end. I want you to go ahead and click that like button. Go ahead and click that like button on the video. And after you click the like button, I want you to go ahead and click the subscribe, because listen, we are dropping videos, we are dropping gems every week, okay? And so we want you to be aware, and we want you to stick with us as we continue to grow our channel. We need you to grow. Huge shout out to those who have been with us, who continue to watch us, who continue to encourage us when we see you. We want to say thank you. You much appreciated. And listen, we're going to get into this week's episode. We like to open up our channel with a word of prayer because we are women of faith. So go ahead and bow your head and close your eyes. Father, we just want to give you glory, honor, and praise. We thank you for this day. We thank you for those that are watching. We thank you for meeting every need of those people, of everyone that is watching. We thank you that as we come together and just to discuss and have fun, we pray that somebody is blessed when they're watching this and when they see this. We don't ask these things in our name, but in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Did you have your eyes closed?
Yeah.
Oh, because when I looked up, you was like...
Because, yeah, I had them closed. You'll see.
Wow. We're going to get into our first segment, which is called A Minute to Get in It. You got a minute to get in it. You got a minute to get in it. A minute to get in it. A minute to get in it. A minute. A minute. A minute to get in it. Thank you.
It's meant to be soulful.
I gave a soul when I said, a minute to get in it. Just saying. So this is the part of the session.
Oh, it's giving the Dubai run.
Just had to do something, huh? No, you didn't do it. So we're going to go ahead and give you a minute to get in it. This part of our segment, Minute to Get in It, is where we're just discuss anything that we want to, whether it be happy, sad, giving props, mad about something, whatever it is. We have just 1 minute to get in it. We are going to time each other, and after our time is up, ding, 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 we're going to move it along. All right, Jackie, are you ready?
I am ready for my minute to get in it.
And I'll give you permission in 1 second. Go ahead.
Okay, my minute to get in it is just a little PSA. We are coming up on election. This is an election year, and we are coming up on election times. And so there is a lot that the media is sharing and pushing, and there are a lot of opinions. And a lot of times this can cause strife, contention, arguments. Let me just say this. As we come up into this time, people have the right to do what they want to do. So if you know that you're not on the same page with someone, let's not bring it up and ruin the mood and ruin conversations. And also, if somebody just has different views, values, and beliefs than you, just leave it at that. It's just, we are not all robots. We are not all the same. There's going to be some votes for one candidate, and there's going to be some votes for another, because that's just how everyone is viewing how they're voting. So let people gather their information, interpret it how they want, and do what they want to do. We don't need the strife, the contention, the judgment, and the fighting.
Agreed.
Already in enough trouble with the candidate.
Okay.
Okay.
Come on. Tell the truth. That's right.
Okay. Nikki,
Agreed.
are you ready for your minute to get in it?
I am ready.
It begins now.
I just want to give a shout out to the lady today that was at Lowe's. That as I was walking to my car, a car almost hit me. Okay, it was right next to me. The man pulled in. I was walking behind him, and homeboy revved up, and it's just by the skin of my hair that I made it past. And the lady had gotten in her car, and she was standing there, and she had seen it, and she was like, "Oh my gosh!" And then she was like, "Did you just see what happened?" And I was like, "Yes, it's the goodness of God. Listen, it's okay." She was, "I'm sorry, I just get upset about those types of things." And I was like, "No, I definitely understand." I had to reassure her, "I'm okay. I'm fine. Don't let this upset your day. Go in the Lowe's and do what you got to do." But I just want to say thank you because people don't have to be compassionate. She could have went on about her way. I don't know. I know God got me. Homeboy wasn't looking. He even got out of the truck and still wasn't looking. He was like, I don't know what he was, had going on in his mind. I did not think that he was going to be backing out the way he did. I thought he had pulled into a spot. I was good to go, and he was. I didn't hear anything.
That's okay. I'll turn it up.
So I thought he was going, and so yeah. So I just want to say shout out to her.
It
So
went. It
appreciate
went
you.
off. It went
I
off.
can I see the phone so I can just make sure it confirmed. Okay, it doesn't look like it was started. So I'll go ahead and finish.
It started and finished. You know what you should have told the lady? Never mind. I was gonna say you should have been like, "Lady, I'm fine. I've been hit by a car before."
Oh no! I was just like, I know I wasn't about to get hit today. Come on.
He just wasn't paying attention, backing out the guy in the
Yeah, I
truck.
guess he didn't have a sensor of when people walk behind you. He was just trying to straighten out his car, but he was like very aggressive. Like, Reverend. I was like, sir, what are you doing? You're in a parking lot. But like, I was just like, I just had so much like peace with me. Like, I just wasn't.
And you doing all that just to straighten out the car? Now
Yeah,
come on.
I don't know. But I was like, she was just like, oh. And then I thought about from her perspective, like, that would have been terrible to witness and see, and you
Mhm.
know, um. But I just reassured her all is well. All is well.
Yeah, it's
All is well.
interesting. You always say something to me about singing, and it's
Yeah,
just
but I don't know. It's on me today. If it's on me, it's on me. Let me wet my throat again real quick.
what's on you exactly. And then you're gonna say, "If it's on me, it's on me." But yet, when it's on other people, somehow it's completely dismissed.
Listen,
Type
thank
of
you.
topic.
Thank you
So
for your observation. I want to say this though.
interesting.
I want to say this. I want to go ahead on. What do you think about? I hear a lot of chitter chatter. So Kamala Harris, our current vice president, was on the Drew Barrymore show, and I don't know if anybody,
Wait, wait. Miraculously, she want to show up after I said last week. Where is she at? Now she want to be on the group. I saw that. I said, "Really, Kamala? If you a subscriber, just say that."
Wow. Hey. But I have been seeing. So she was on Drew Barrymore's show. I don't really care for Drew Barrymore has a certain particular style, that she interviews people, and it's just always in their face and rubbing and touching, and so I'm figuring, she obviously must know these people. That's why she does it. I don't know, but that's been her thing for her show, and so Kamala, however you say her name, no disrespect to you, but she was our vice president, seen and unseen. She has was on the show, and Drew Barrymore said something like, "We need you to be Mamala." I think she was trying to rhyme with it with Kamala, and she said, "Mamala, we need you to be our Mamala." We don't. We
Like a
don't,
mama
Drew. We
bear.
don't need her to be our mother. We need her to be what we voted her in as, or whoever voted her in, because I didn't vote her. But we needed her to be vice president. Um,
Mama like mama bear.
yes, like a mama bear, because she was like, people might need a hug, and people from who? From who?
We just came through a pandemic. Ain't nobody about to be out here hugging these people. And Drew, in front. That's why you need to get back.
Yeah, so
I don't care what you say. I know Drew was a super spreader in 2019. I ain't gonna get into it.
wow, allegedly, that's alleged. So we is not saying that. But, however, comma, Some people have been like, I have heard like a few things. Some people have started to say cancel Drew for saying that. I just thought that was a bit extra. Like, you can take away whatever you want to take away from the conversation and be done with it.
Mhm.
But this whole cancel culture, cancel somebody because you didn't agree with them. I'm sick of y'all Gen Zs, younger millennial. I'm sick of all of y'all. Like, we're not canceling everything just because you don't agree with it. Have
Yeah.
several seats. It's not
Mhm.
necessary. Oh, she was being racist because we're not your mama. We're not slaves. Drew Barrymore is the least person I would think from that would be racist. She's also been in the show business since she's been a kid and
Mhm.
has been able to maintain, you know what I mean, like to be able to be at this point in her career to actually have a talk show. So I want to give Drew her props. Drew, stop telling people, don't keep trying to rhyme stuff because she's not our mother. I think more her statement should have been, I want to see you as Mamala, maybe, but don't we not included because we didn't say that.
Let me say this. A lot of times, women, especially African American women, we automatically come with a nurturing and soothing, um, a just demeanor that we have. That a lot of times I seen a TikTok one time, and I don't have it, but it was a middle aged white woman that said it's just something about, and this was not racist, but she said it's just something about when an older black woman calls me baby. Makes me want to like melt into their arm. So sometimes, because we automatically possess that, people are kind of looking for that comfort that we bring because it's just naturally in us. And also, too, like everything is not racist. And before you take your point of view and run with it to the ends of the earth, understand that you're one perspective. And if you get, I don't care if you get 10,000 people on your side, there's billions of people in the world. Your perspective is not the only perspective. And just because you have a perspective or an opinion, which you're allowed to have, it doesn't make it facts.
Correct.
Your feeling is not a fact.
Mm,
So,
true.
yes, don't do that to Drew. I did not, even when you said the whole thing, I just thought, okay, another little Drew.
A
Whatever.
Drew
That was
moment.
all, yeah, that was all I thought. I absolutely did not think that she had some underlying intention, that there was something racist behind it. I didn't even, I just, when you just told that story, that was the furthest thing from my mind. Trust
Mm,
me, when people don't like you and when people want to make it about your colors and such, you can detect that. You can feel that.
you
That's
sure
not what
can.
you was doing. Y'all just reach.
Reaching. That was a reach.
I
But
mean,
but yeah, just note to Drew, don't do that no more. We don't want her as our mother.
say the truth. We don't need. Some of us don't need. Some of us are fine. We have mother.
Cause that and just like she don't give off a motherly energy. Like she's the vice president. Let her just be that. Like it's okay.
We
Some of
need her to
us,
be a boss.
huh?
We need her to be a boss.
That's what I'm saying.
Boss up.
Some people don't give off a motherly energy. Some people are just bosses. Some people just know how to run stuff. That's we're waiting for her to step into that role.
Do you think you give off like you a boss?
Hmm.
You not as a vice president, but just like
Oh, I don't.
never mind. Because you up here acting like, am I vice president?
I'm
No.
like, should I be a VP?
Lord, am
put
I
my
supposed to
put
be?
my name on the ballot.
Nobody said that. No, you sitting up there looking like, Lord, am I supposed to be
Let me
running?
go in my prayer closet real quick because let me find out vice president. I know one thing. If I was, I'll be everywhere, doing everything that I was supposed to do as a vice president. I'd probably be somewhere exhausted because I would be all so many places trying to get so much done. I'm like, and I'm the vice president.
You should have said, let me find out I'm supposed to be a button y'all pushing for. If you got $10.
Hello. So if you don't, still vote.
That's from Martin, if y'all don't know.
Uh,
Do you think that your demeanor is like you are like, like I'm a boss, I'm gonna get stuff done?
I don't think my demeanor gives. I'm lying. Yes.
Oh, you think you okay.
I think I do. I think I do.
Is it in certain situations? Are you now bossy is not mean.
I
Because
feel as though you're trying to shade me because sometimes I don't.
No,
Well,
I'm
yes.
genuinely asking.
No, I feel like you're like, really? Are you a boss?
No,
Like,
I'm saying, okay, is there situations? No, there are
I
things that
can give boss energy. I'll
I
say that.
think that first of all, I'm asking the question because I do think that it's in most people, especially when it's something that they're good at and they're familiar with.
Right.
Like you know how to be like, nah, I got this
Right.
when it's your job. Technically, being vice president is her job.
Right.
So you should be when you walk into that and people are like, Vice President, you know what I mean, Nicole, let's just come in. You should walk with a little more, you know what I mean,
Oh,
arch in
yeah.
the back. In the yeah, I'm running this. I said we will not be communicating with like you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying, do you think that you carry that? Because and some people don't. They never lean into that. They're always shy. They always stay to the back. So that's why I'm asking you
I
that.
think that I do have the I do show up at times like that.
And when do you think you show up like that?
Probably when I'm frustrated.
Okay. Okay, we'll move
But
on.
I'm not mean about it. So I'm saying that, well, like, I will play like the background, but like if it's my turn to do
Right.
something, if it's my turn to say something, I come out of that background role and I will step up and say, okay, this is what we're gonna do. This is the expectation, and be able to set their goals. And I think that I do that, and I have done that. I have taken leadership roles where I've had to step and get people to let's move. So you're not moving to your own beat. For instance, in my old job that I just left.
I can't.
um at one point I was like the holiday coordinator during the holidays, and so like I would be like the manager on call at night, or manager on duty at night. And so like, if a customer came in with an issue, they would be calling me. Also, if I told you to go on break, like go on break at your appointed time, I would like, be a little extra sometimes, just because I know how how management is, because I was a supervisor previously. And I just believe that when you stand in a role of leadership, people should see you as a leader, because nobody will respect you if they don't think that you're a good leader. Like, let's just be honest. We see people run all over people because they don't think they're a good leader. They don't, offer them respect. And I never took that position of oh, I'm all meek and humble. I'm just saying, in that perspective.
Okay.
When I have to stand up and do something, even when I have to lead meetings on my job now, I'd be like, oh, okay, I have to step up my game. I have to speak clearer. I have to be assertive when I'm speaking. There's certain characteristics that you have to have in order for people to respect you. Do you
Hello.
think you're a boss?
Yes.
I know.
And now that's not nice.
I'm not saying it to be a mean, like you are.
No, it was I know. The eye roll and then a sip of
Did I
water. Couple
roll
things to explain.
my eyes?
Those of y'all that
No,
are watching
I
this
did
did
not.
not see that.
Mm-mm. No, then I roll. It's what happens is when I turn, sometimes it looked like my eyes rolling, but I didn't roll.
Stop. She accused me of throwing shade. I was asking a genuine question, and then it took her 3.2 seconds. And if you saw it, please comment.
Wow. Well,
No. Yes. And by that, I just mean that I am not afraid to walk into any room.
that is true.
And I don't care if it's CEOs of companies. That means I'm there to learn something from you because I'm not a CEO. So
Right.
I'm going to learn from you. And how about this? I may not be a CEO, but I'm going to talk to you because there's something that you can learn from me. I believe in asking questions, and I believe in asking questions to make you think. So, yes, I do. I have no problem showing up to a room full of people. I have no problem showing up to a meeting. I have no problem showing up in any capacity and being, and this is something that I grew into. I don't think I was always this way. You think I was always bossy? Hmm. I think I grew into my confidence in that way, but I probably have had like a little bossy.
Let's be honest. You have been bossy since birth.
But when we were younger,
Do we have to give stories of how you were bossy?
I wasn't bossing you around. I wasn't bossing people around.
You
I'm
know,
trying to
if
think.
any of our cousins are out there, I want you guys to go ahead and type in the chat how bossy Jackie was and is. If anybody knows us, go ahead and type in the chat how bossy Jackie was as a child. I've lived with Jackie. Jackie most certainly knows she's a boss. You
Yep.
were bossy when I was sick. Let me tell you this. When I was sick, you all, and I happened to, we shared a room and we were in bunk beds, and I happened to I was vomiting, so I had like a little virus or whatnot. Unfortunately, vomiting in my bed, and I was on the top bunk, so my parents made me stay on the bottom bunk with my sister, who was younger than me.
Oh, that's my bottom
No,
bunk.
I
That's
understand.
my
There you
bunk.
go.
That was my bed.
I'll wait.
You're not telling the story properly. You're saying it like we had access to
Jackie,
both.
is it my experience or is it yours? May I not? May I speak or no?
You can go ahead and lie. You told us last week. Sometimes you gotta lie a little bit. So go ahead.
No, I am not lying about this. I didn't say it wasn't my bed. I said I slept on the top. So that would give indication that you slept on the bottom. As I stated in the beginning of the story, we shared a room.
Okay.
However, parents was like, don't get back in the top bunk. You know, they took the sheets was washing them, but they was like, just for easier access if I had to jump up. This one here refused to let me sleep throughout the night because my head had to be facing towards the trash can that she sat underneath my face because she did not want me to vomit in her bed. And the moment that I turned my head, because I was a little stiff, this little girl right here would Nick, and then another thing, she never called me by my nickname as a child.
Hmm.
She refused to. I'm not calling you Nikki. You're Nicole.
Nicole.
And
Sometimes I
she
will say Nicole. Nicole. Sorry.
So, when I say bossy from a sister's perspective, an older sister, if y'all don't know us, you wouldn't know that I was the older sister until I said I'm the older sister.
Okay. Can I just say something about that story? And
Go ahead.
I'm gonna
Go
ask
ahead.
additional feedback again.
Not additional.
If somebody had to be in your bed and they had just vomited all over their bed, wouldn't you be trying to make sure they didn't do that to yours? I wasn't being bossy. I had just seen what had just happened, and it was quite disgusting. And I was like, God, you can't possibly go do that, my bum. That was my thought process. I wasn't trying to be bossy. I apologize if it came across as
You don't
bossy.
have to apologize
I
to me.
was
I
more
ain't paying
so
you no mind.
for me, it was I got to preserve my sheets and my peace of mind.
I, I,
Um,
have you ever been bullied as a child?
bullied.
Yes. Has anybody ever stepped to you, tried to do anything to make you? I doubt you were. I mean, but it's your story.
Bullied in a way of like somebody stepping to me to
Do something.
something or whatever. No, because now be so for real. And this you better find words of mark. You better find something safe to do. No, not in that way. But I have been bullied in a way of my appearance, of being like talked about in front of a class.
Who talked about you in front of a class?
I had somebody that said something in our eighth grade um, biology class. Was it? I forget the class that made a statement about me and my weight.
You weren't even. Ladies and gentlemen, I wasn't aware of this because if I was, I would have seen about that person. Because I was, little did everybody know, I was about that life. Because remember, I came to the bus stop, and
Yeah,
somebody was messing with you.
but we're actually cool. No, that wasn't bullying me. That was somebody that said they wanted to step to me, and I was like, okay, see you there.
And I was like, I'll see you there too. You so.
Yeah, I had that. Now I did have that a couple of times. Like somebody that just wanted to step to me, and I'm like, you don't even have a reason, but okay.
Right, right.
That was, I wouldn't say that was bullying. That was more so embarrassing me.
Yeah, that was an embarrassing moment.
Yeah,
And
that was
that,
embarrassing.
did you
Yes.
deal with that? Or did you deal with them right then and there?
No, no, I didn't deal with them.
Oh,
No.
wow.
And I'm
As
actually,
much mouth as you have.
no, but that's something that's why
But
I said I feel like I had to grow into confidence about
Mhm.
certain things,
And I'm sorry,
right?
did you say y'all friends today?
We're friends on Facebook. sometimes the person, it's a male, comments on my stuff and like, is or just likes it. Mhm.
I'll see. I'll start you after the show so I can know who this is. Um,
Yep.
okay.
This happened one time. And yeah, it actually, and it was, you never know, even though, kids are being kids or whatever. And that's why you never know what sticks with somebody. Because I remember it vividly.
Right.
Hmm.
Well.
But
Well.
look at me now. Look at me now.
Look
Hey.
at you, just as beautiful as you want to be.
This is true.
That's good. Very good.
Shut up.
So, yes, thank goodness that we've grown up, we've moved on.
Yes.
You are still a boss. You are bossy, and it's okay. I've accepted you for who you are a long time ago.
Okay.
Give
Thank
me
you.
a, you're welcome. Um,
And I do agree with her that I do think there are some instances where I can get bossy or I try to take over a situation for her if I feel like she's not. I do agree that as I got older, I feel like I didn't feel like I was that way when I was younger, but I do know of plenty examples coming up, coming up, being getting older.
yeah, no, I think it more. I think I felt like, well, no, as children, we we were children, whatever. We did stuff and
Yeah.
according to our personalities. And your personality was such as it is now. Where you are somewhat no, you're very outspoken, you very like always speak your mind, always, talking, very talkative. And I was not that one. We also didn't, we would fuss and fight, whatever, but like more before as I got to a certain age, I wouldn't even say anything back to you. I would just you would just be whatever. But at some point, I had to say step in and be like, let me tell you something. But we got it together. And then yes, as we grew into adults, and I like I said, this is the thing that I did admire about you and that has helped me to grow into being a leader is that your confidence grew, but like you were more of mommy in that area. Mommy doesn't back down, when she she does it. She
Only 5'4".
you know, only 5'4", but she will let you know, like, if you're doing something wrong. And I just remember being like, "Oh, mom, why do you act like that?" I used to be so
I
mad.
know, Mom. I
And
know.
then you on the other end be like, "Yes," you would come home and tell her she would write a note, and you would be fine. Like, "Yes, mom, tell them." So I'm like, "Oh gosh, these
Yeah,
people are
read
not
it
gonna
and
like
weep.
me." And for as much stuff as you did, I don't. But
And just know she mean what she wrote.
so, like I was saying,
You would be like,
as
I'm not giving this to no
I,
teacher.
I was like in the corner crying somewhere, like, why would you say that?
And you got
But
me reading it like, I don't see no problem.
like reading, right? So like I was like reading it, and it was just like, oh my gosh, and like I honestly, I was, I don't really. It wasn't like she was like saying anything that was wrong, but she was very assertive and very, as a matter of fact, like, do not try my child, so, or you will have to deal with me, type of thing, because I just wasn't someone, that was in the classroom that was speaking up or saying a lot. But you have a lot of those at her attributes in regards to that, in regards to getting things done, not being scared to speak up, not being scared to pursue things. You chose to do, make your own path. I don't know if we talked about it on here or not, but I worked at McDonald's, not necessarily because mommy and daddy worked at McDonald's back in the day, but just it was my happened to be my first job. However, you came up and was like, I'm not working at nobody's McDonald's. You upset your father. I mean, my God, today he was so mad about that. But you was like, I'm gonna get a job at an ice cream shop. So
No, that was after the ice cream shop.
oh
My
wait, that
first
was after the ice
job
cream
was the
shop?
ice cream shop, but when I quit the ice cream shop because I was irritated and I quit,
Oh my
Daddy was
gosh,
telling
today.
me all these places that he was going to take me to get a job since I had quit that one. He was like, "You'll have to put in an application at McDonald's." Checkers. I said, absolutely not. I will not. Who
And just upset my poor little father's world. Who do you think you are? Type of
do
thing.
you
Like,
think you
Daddy,
are?
calm down. But we can see, like, the
And
past.
I started working at the bank.
Exactly. Because that's, you wanted to go against the eye. Like, I'm not going to do the normal thing. And we'll get into that later about,
Yeah.
family and all that. But that's just the one thing I want to say that I do admire, still, I did, still do, and will forever admire your personality and how you stand out. And you have helped me to come out of my shell, hence this
Yes.
show. Hence, that's why we have this podcast here. And again,
Y'all.
hope you guys are enjoying. Don't forget to subscribe. So listen,
That's right.
since we're talking about reading,
Hmm.
um, what do you prefer? Are you a texter or a caller?
I gotta be honest. Text me. I have to be honest. Just send me a text message. Now,
Hmm.
that's for probably, I would say, 95% of situations. I really just prefer if you just send me a text, give me a minute, I'll get back to you. Or if it's a quick response, I can quickly reply to you.
Okay.
If it's an emergency, pick up the phone and call me and tell me what's going on. Don't send me no text message and have me trying to interpret for myself.
Right.
Don't text me in that scenario. And if I'm dating or getting to know someone, I prefer phone conversations.
Okay.
Texting over a bunch of texting back and forth.
Right.
So where you grow up? So what you like? So just call me. I'd rather do that over a phone conversation. But most everything else, quick text should get the resolve in there.
I can't.
Big heavy on the just text me, please.
I think for me, I think I'm probably the same way. I would say text,
Oh, I thought you
but
would be a
in certain aspect, I mean, in certain situations, like if we're just having general conversation, like we're not really talking about much of anything, I'll text. But if I get a text message from someone that seems to is a call conversation to me, this is not a text conversation, I'm gonna go ahead and call you. I'm gonna go ahead and call you or tell you to call me. Um,
okay.
because to me, on text messages, things can get misconstrued. I could be reading it in a different way than you're sending it,
Mhm.
whatever. So I'm not trying to have no made up conversation in my head how you want the other end. And no, I want to hear your voice. I want to hear how you sound. I need to know how I need to adjust my voice and my responses. Do I need to clap back or do I need to just lay back? It's too, and for me, it's too muddy, if it's text message.
Do I need to clap back as wild?
Because I'm saying, if you know, you know. I do not, I don't, I got a comeback. I'm gonna always have a comeback. My father taught me very well. I'm gonna always have a comeback. But,
Mhm.
um, calling, I think it just depends on who the person is too. Like I don't text, I mean, my mother, mommy, our mom, mommy, whoever, I call her every day.
Mm.
Almost every day. I don't be having long conversations, and then I talk to you on the phone mostly every day. So, and we don't be having no short conversations. Sometimes we be like, all right now, or it could be a day where we talk a couple of times, one time, but and for me, I prefer to talk to you. Like if it's something we can text or we send it to each other, I'm fine. But
Mm.
like I said, because we be having general conversation. We just be doing a lot. And a lot of what we talk about is not really text stuff anyway. Until
Mm-mm.
you start, unless we do voice notes. But to that point, you might as well be talking.
Mhm. I believe in voice notes. I don't have a problem with voice
No,
notes.
I know you do. But if I'm busy and not doing nothing, like I'll be like, voice note back to you. But if I'm not busy and you're not busy, I'll turn around and call you. But I do agree that I don't, if in dating, I don't want to have more conversation over text than I do on the phone. I want to talk to you and build that communication, with you through that. I mean, we can text, general stuff, but things in it of importance or wanting to get to know me, the best way to get to know me is to talk to me. It's not to text.
I would agree.
in general. Good one. So, next question. What's something you miss about the 90s slash early 2000s, you would say?
Authenticity.
Mm.
And the reason why I miss it is because, like, when I think back, and I recently just had this because somebody had posted something and they were playing this song by Commission. I know love is the way to bring the brand new day. Yes. And it literally made me think about being in Daddy's Acclaim
Mm-hmm.
and how, like, um, just like, I don't know, like just listening to that song, liking that song, being in the Acclaim, driving somewhere, and just how it just didn't feel so heavy. I miss not having people having so much access to so much, including you and your
Right,
time.
right,
Like I miss like just you being able to just kind of have your own. Now everything is so instant and you're so connected and social media. I miss not having social media. Like I miss having just AOL. It was like just enough. I
mm-hmm.
miss like whiteout on your typewriter. I just miss like a lot. I think it's just like nostalgia because I know that it is about like remember when you had to white it out, you had to wait for it to
Yes.
dry, and then you backspace because if not, you would mess it up. I just feel like in that we didn't realize how just cool and calm things were, and I think that everything is so elevated now, and things are changing, and honestly, they're changing so rapidly that it's just making everything feel so sped up,
Right.
and just making it feel like, oh my gosh, like so I just kind of I don't know. There's certain things that I just kind of that we didn't have back then that I miss because it kind of let us lean into life a little bit more.
I agree. I miss
Yeah.
the gas prices.
Oh yeah.
The gas prices were sweet.
Cause
Eh,
you know the mantra was like 99 cents to fill up. Sometimes
99.
it
At
was like
one point in
90.
time, I have seen gas as low as 99 cents. You couldn't tell me nothing. Fill it up.
Five
Fill it
dollars.
up. I fill my tank up. I miss be getting with like family, like all of our family actually being here and being present and
Mm,
like getting together,
mm,
for the holidays and seeing everybody and like I miss Christmas as a child, as a young adult,
ooh,
because it was like so, to me, it was like so much. It felt like around that time, like people had a lot more joy. They were a lot more
yes,
excited. They were a lot more giving, and they weren't, you know, like what did we have? What's the Black Fridays? Like people would go out and they'd be rushing and it wasn't time. Now not me because I ain't appreciate all that. But like the hype of it, everybody be so hyped
right.
to go out and just like get a bunch of gifts and not that you were trying to go bankrupt getting these gifts either. Like I feel like nowadays these kids are asking
Yeah,
for things that they don't even you need a job for that. Like you should be actually working a job for the thing that you're asking for. And until you work a job, you're not getting that because that's what was with us. You know what I mean? Like our parents,
yeah.
cell phones weren't a thing. There was not. We didn't have cell phones when we were growing up. It wasn't so actually. As a matter of fact, cell phones weren't even accessible to regular people like us.
Hmm.
You had to be rich, rich to have you a cell phone. It'd be them big old things that people was carrying around, and nobody was envious because didn't nobody want to carry that big thing around. Like what would I want that for?
But if you go back to the 90s, the first thing you had was a car phone. When you got a car that had a
Yes,
phone in it,
yes, yes.
baby, where is Forbes? Because I'm
You made
definitely
it.
the richest person alive.
You have made it when you had your car phone. Um,
Remember you looked at a Galant that had
yes,
a
I
smartphone
almost had
and I
one.
was like, oh my
If
God.
I get this, had a sunroof, a car phone, wasn't gonna make a call to nobody because who's gonna pay that bill? But however, hey, it was in there. Thing was
Yeah.
nice.
I got a question.
Mhm.
Because Wi-Fi is such a big thing now. How was we making them calls?
I don't
How
know.
was they making them calls?
Oh, and another thing I miss.
Was it the antenna?
It
Because
probably
cars don't
was.
have antennas no more. Come on. What y'all know about antennas on your
I
phone?
forgot about
That's
yeah.
how you got the frequency to the radio. Oh my God. Yeah.
A lot.
These
Another
kids
thing,
know nothing.
I sent you the Weather Channel. I said everybody how the Weather Channel used to be on TV with the jazz music.
Yes, but
That
that
was
was
the best
another
thing.
moment, very nostalgic,
Mhm.
where I felt like I was sitting on the couch in terrestrial, and Daddy was like, "What's the weather gonna be tomorrow?" And we had to turn to
Listen
the
to the
channel to
channel.
see. And it was like, turn to the weather channel real quick so I could see what the weather's gonna be tomorrow.
Yeah. And
And you had to wait for them to go through, and it was like it was so slow.
what
Now, go on your phone. They give you hourly, 10 day. Boom. What's the weather today? I go right on there.
I ain't gonna
69.
lie, they get it down to the time. What time it's gonna rain? Okay, about 3 or 4. Get myself
Yep.
together. I do. I don't mind that, but I do just miss everything was so much simpler. It seemed like
Yeah, just felt,
there
yeah.
wasn't a whole bunch to it. Like TV was TV. There was not a whole but there wasn't a whole bunch of things that I can remember being restricted as far as watching on TV that was bad for a kid to watch on TV. After a certain time, everybody cut the TV off, go to bed because at a certain time HBO and them get a little freaky. But outside of that, it outside of that, like parents ain't really worried about what you was watching on TV because most of the time you was really watching appropriate things and they didn't like allow cursing on regular TV or allow all these explicit sex scenes that you now have to worry about your children. Even watching YouTube now, like YouTube shorts and listening to the conversations that are being had because these are the things that our children are being entertained by now. And unfortunately, I think it's just sad because they're being introduced to stuff that they just really have no business being having access to at their age.
They're being influenced.
Correct. Been influenced, and it's unfortunate. I also miss um the airline ticket prices.
Where was you flying to in the 90s?
I don't know, but I just want to say because I want to talk about this experience that I had coming back. So I just came back from Houston, Texas. Shout out to my cousin Tina and her husband TJ
What
and her
up?
children. Um, I had an amazing time with them. They showed me around,
Hmm.
cooked everything. That's what we do. We family,
Family.
and I had a 8:25 a.m. flight yesterday that got delayed 3 hours for no reason. And it's not like they tell you before you get to the airport, like this is delayed 3 hours. No, they kept inching up the time. Oh, it's delayed 20 minutes. It's delayed an hour. And then they weren't even given updates. So it was American Airlines. Yes, I am saying the name American Airlines. Y'all have got to go and you will be hearing
Hey,
from me.
hey.
Y'all will be hearing from me. So they kept canceling, kept delaying the flight, wasn't giving real updates about what was going on. They told us that they had to glue something back together on the plane. Now, who wants to wait for the glue to dry for something on the plane? Ma'am, sir, go get another plane. Because why are you talking about you waiting for something from glue to dry? That was the second time because the delays was the first. Second time was the glue situation. Shout out to my friend Veronica because her and her friend were actually there in Houston, and we all flew on the same flight back home. So she got me into the priority lounge. So we spent some time in the priority lounge chilling. And if y'all don't know what the priority lounge is, y'all gotta upgrade. You just don't have to sit in the common area with everybody else. You get exclusive. You get food for free, drinks for free, and you're in a different area than the rest of the airport. So um common. But I myself need to upgrade as well because again, I only got him because of her. So we are
They
waiting.
in there because of Toya.
Right. Yes. Shout out to Toya. Thank you. It's an experience. If you haven't experienced it, I'm gonna encourage you to go ahead and experience it. But
Like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna up my Amex because I need to be in the lounges.
thank you. I've been asking for several years now for you to do that. I appreciate it. So we're getting ready to get board the plane. Now
Mhm.
we done came through TSA already. TSA
Right.
is swarmed at the gate. They are announcing that they
They're
want to see
done.
swarmed. There's a bunch of TSA agents at our gate only. After y'all have delayed us 3 hours going over the 3 hours.
Okay.
Now you're asking us to have not only our tickets out, but you want our RDs out. What is going on here?
Yeah, what happened?
I don't know. Then you had somebody standing to the side. They were randomly checking bags. Let me tell y'all something. If y'all don't tell me what's going on here,
Mhm.
I'm about to go. Like, this is crazy. So, out of all that, I'm sitting there chilling. I get to my seat,
Yeah.
sit down, get myself together. This American airline stewardess that wasn't even on the flight
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
walks up to my row and asks me, "Am I such and such?" And I said, "No, my name's Nicole Lester." He was like, "Are you supposed to be in this seat?" I said, "Excuse me? What do you mean am I supposed to be in this seat?" He was like, "Let me see your boarding pass." I said, "Who is he talking?" So I was looking on my phone for my boarding pass because I wasn't gonna act a fool, but And then he was like, "Oh, never mind," and then walked off. Are you kidding me right now? You came over here, you act like I was sitting in the wrong seat on this average plane. This isn't no private jet. Y'all are not no exclusive company.
See, there, I think if you are you supposed to be sitting here, let me see your boarding pass. I would say let's all relax, and I'll show you my boarding pass. But I would have said like
Mm.
let's relax, and I'll show you. I'm not going to go off, but I'm gonna just give you a little twang of if you want to go there, we could delay this flight further.
I didn't even give any twang. I didn't even give a little
I'll
twang.
find my, I'll get my boarding pass out and I'll oblige, but you will relax.
And then he just like walks back and he was like, "Oh, they were like, oh, these two ladies that aren't on the plane. I don't know what y'all got going on. Y'all not telling
It has
anybody."
nothing to do with me.
That's what I'm saying. And I was like, I already just came through here and
Mhm.
gave y'all my boarding pass. I said, and then I said, "I know how to read a sign. Like, I'm not slow." Like, cause that started to rile me up, but I had to keep myself calm because I was like, it's not, don't get rowdy. And then I was texting, Riley, like, they had the nerve to come ask me, was I in the right seat? Did you ask the Indian boy next to me, was he in the right seat? Did you ask the white lady, the white man in front of me, was he in the right seat? No, you came straight back to my seat, asked me was I. I don't know what that was about. Let me calm
Mm.
down because I'm hyped. I don't know what that was about. You think I can
Off
see?
the plane. You're off the plane, sis.
I'm off the plane. I made it back safely. But I can see, like, that's frustrating to people. You're not even telling us what's going on.
Mhm.
You haven't been giving us any proper updates. We get on the plane and they were saying it was not glue, it was sealant that had to go on something. Either way, it was a delay that y'all knew was being delayed from 6:30 this morning all the way to almost quarter to 12. So much so that the 1 o'clock, 1:10 flight that we could have switched to when we were checking in was getting prepared and getting wrapped up to go, almost starting, boarding. That's crazy. And then you come with this crazy experience, and I still don't know to this day what was going on.
Right, right.
But like I said, American Airlines, you will be hearing from me.
Because we don't do that.
No. And that's one thing that before I've been, "Oh, I'm not going to say nothing." Uh-uh. Let me tell y'all something. I have grown and opening my mouth.
Amen. All right. Hello?
I'll get with you later to make sure everything's straight. I just had to get that moment off my chest, and that was more than a minute. So
Yes,
thank y'all
never.
for listening. Thank y'all for listening. I don't know if that's ever happened to anybody. Let me know if you had any crazy experience with either TSA, the airport, the agents. It's sometimes it was off. It was just off.
Frustrating.
But appreciate God for keeping me and allowing me to get home safely. So moving on to our last topic. I don't know, I got lost in my thought for a second there. I seen a video of I don't know who this young woman is. I don't know if she's like a preacher or anything like that, but she was talking about a her mother had made her miss getting married, and that she also said, like, at a certain point in a certain time in life, you have to start making a decision when you start having kids, like how you're going to go through your life and what are you going to do with it. And she was essentially, I was like reading in the comments, and someone had mentioned, this is why I have learned to let go of family expectations.
Hmm.
So it may have been that I didn't watch like her full, I don't know what podcast she's on to see what her full story is in regards to her mother. I don't know if her mother had never been married, not married, or divorced, but simply just discouraged. Maybe, it sounded like maybe at one point in time in her life had maybe discouraged her away from being married. And, and her and the guy that was talking was saying sometimes your family isn't the tribe that you need. Um, After you reach a certain point, you kind of need people that are going to push you to where you're going and what's kind of best for you, and not be so reliant on their experiences and try to push their experiences on you. And so when I was like, looking at that and like looking in the comments, I was like, so it raised a good question, and I wanted to bring it here. And I
Mhm.
wanted to ask you what you think or what you thought, but what expectations do you feel that you have, or no, my question is, at what age do you feel, or like at what point in your life do you feel that you stop living for the expectation of your family and start living for yourself?
You know,
Good one.
people feel like I've always been people. People feel like I always have been that way. I will say this. I do have, I have always had a different way of thinking. And sometimes I felt bad about that. So I wouldn't say much because I wouldn't want to be offensive or come across as offensive. But in my own way, I would still be like, well, this is what, I'm doing. I have a lot of thoughts
Hmm.
surrounding it. I think that, and I'll try to, you know, give them and then so that you can give yours. Um, there's a couple of things that I think. One, I agree with the statement of sometimes your family's not your tribe. That's going to be in some aspects of life. So if you don't have anyone that is a successful CEO in your family and you know that maybe you're trying to be in corporate America, and yeah, you are going to have you're going to have to learn and glean from those that are already in the position that you're in. What happens with family expectations is that sometimes I think that people and family don't realize what they're putting on you. And so I think that I don't have a specific age. I've had like ebbs and flows. Now, I would say in the last maybe 4 or 5 years, I have totally come to it's a very strong, stern feeling for me.
Mm-mm.
Before you know, like I'll be 40 this year. And sometimes I've made decisions. I have not done things or made decisions out of fear or thinking about what it would look like and things like that. And it didn't get me it didn't get me anywhere. And it was actually I think it was fear being projected but not realizing that that's what it was. So I
Mm.
don't say that as a blame thing.
Right.
I say that as not necessarily realizing that that's what it was. um I grew up very supportive, with supportive family on both sides. But I have an uncle, my mom's brother, that I would always look at because he always was like a businessman, like a little hustler, like not a hustler, but he's like like Uncle Dorn's like a business person. He has his own business. He has his own t-shirt business. He moved to Georgia. He got, he didn't want to be in Philly anymore. But like he was always just going after it. And he's successful and he has like, his wife now and he has like, kids, grandkids, like all of that. But he was always just going after it and he wasn't afraid to. He couldn't get caught up in what was being pushed per se. And I think that what happens is that when people look at you, they kind of or people we come from a strong faith-backed family. And so a lot of times the reason why I would feel a certain way is because I felt like people were trying to push me into something that I wasn't. And so where I am today, I'm very quick to be like, stop. Because you don't think that you're doing anything. You don't think that it's any harm, but through growing, through having my own relationship with God, having my own communications, and just simply just realizing this is my life. Like if I live my life according to pleasing people, I will never be happy. I will never be fulfilled. I will never be, I'm just going to always be doing something to make sure that the next person is satisfied. Sometimes I don't want to do that. I don't want to go there. I don't want to, and now I started that way sooner. Where I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go there. And it's because like I just I just don't want to. There's not an issue. It's not something that's bigger than what it is. And again, I just think that sometimes people put you in a box and you have to not let people put you in a box. It's why I don't like to be babied. On my dad's side of the family, I'm the youngest, but I'm not a baby. I don't want to be in a baby. I don't want to be coddled. I don't want to be in that box. And the reason being is because then I'll just always be perceived as that box. And I understand like child actors and actresses that struggle to fight from not to not be seen as this 10-year-old that was on the Disney Channel. Like I'm 30 something years old now. Like like I
Right.
know Candace Cameron has to be so annoyed that people keep thinking she's DJ from Full House. Like
Right.
it's
Like
not
I got
me.
my
I'm
own
a
full
grown.
house.
No. And so you have to fight to get out of the box that people put you in. And sometimes it's not intentional, but you have to get to a point where you become very assured with who you are. You have your relationship with God and you have the people that God has placed in your life, because there are people that God has placed in your life who are also hearing from God and who can speak into you and that lets you know you may have to move regardless of how it looks or how it appears in people's opinions. You may have to move a little bit differently to get what it is that God has told you that he's going to have for you, because if you don't move or if you don't, really tune in and you're just doing things based off of people's perception, there's some things that you're going to miss because you're so worried about how's this going to look for my family and how's this going to look and this is that and the other. And I would say don't stretch that or exaggerate that to say that you don't love your family or you don't want to be around your family or you won't do stuff for your family. That's false. And I think that that's another addition of another narrative of fear that's trying to put on, because that's not what somebody is saying. God told Abraham to leave his family and to
Hmm.
go to, there's a reason why he's still over 2,000 years later, Father Abraham is somebody who we still talk about. He had to be obedient, to God. But people look at sometimes can look at you, can look at your family, and even your family can just determine that they're going to put you in this box. And in my opinion, and like the young lady said, whatever kind of box her mother put her in, it caused her to miss marriage. And so my thing is that get in tune with yourself, get a relationship with God for yourself, and don't be in no box that people try to put you in. And that people try to put you in. Don't put yourself in a box, and don't allow your family to put you into a box. There are some people that are going to be continual through family stuff, even when it comes to like businesses. Some people, it's fourth generation business down.
Hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that, but that's not everybody's story. So
Right.
you can't make my story somebody else's story. So yeah, it may look like I'm going against the grain and I'm doing something different, but it's because I can, and it's my life. I'm sorry, that was long. And that wasn't even everything. I have a lot to say about this.
Mm.
Go ahead.
Meaty.
What?
I said, meaty. Like,
Not
you got a
media.
meat, you got a lot of meat on the bones.
What is your experience or feeling about the topic?
I, it's interesting that I even brought this topic up. I don't know how to, um, I guess maybe I agree with what you say, right? There's a point in time where where you're in life and you have to make a decision of whether you're going to satisfy people or whether you're going to satisfy yourself and you're going to be happy. I mean, honestly, we only get one life to live. We only have a few days on this earth, and what we do matters. And I have spent many years trying to live up to expectations of other
Mm,
people in my family. Like you said, because we have a faith-based family. Because we are, people of God, people that have always prayed.
Mhm.
It is always, especially for us, being the youngest on our dad's side, me being the oldest on mommy's side.
Mhm.
There's like this level, and people have told me like, why do you feel like you have to live up to this standard? Like there's this bar that's here, and I just feel like I'm never reaching it, and it's because it's not meant for me to reach. I think that family doesn't do it on purpose,
Right,
but I
right.
think like once you are the one that seems like you have some success in life and you're going in the right direction, they're trying to encourage you to keep on in that right direction. And for me, I have been even when I made some so not so good decisions, it's been like, now why would you do that? And like I take that to heart. Like I'm like, oh, disappointed y'all. And
Yeah.
then I set out again to try to meet this bar that's just not obtainable. And it has taken me some years. I wasn't, not even in the 4 or 5 years. Like, it literally has taken me maybe in the last 2 years to be like, I can't continue trying to live for my family. We all know nobody is perfect. None of
Mhm.
us are perfect. We have bad days, we make good decisions, we make bad decisions. We make decisions because they're ours to make. And so will you always agree with my decision? No. I don't always feel like you have to voice your opinion about not agreeing with my decision, and I feel like sometimes family can be a little bit our families can be a little bit opinionated about decisions that it's just something I did, and I don't always want to talk about it, or I don't always want to explain, myself. And I
Mhm.
honestly, if I disappointed you, you got to take that to God, because at this point in my life, and that's how I feel now. Now, before, like I said, if I disappointed you, I'm like, oh no, please don't.
Right.
Now I'm just like, you got to take that up with God, because first of all, that's who I'm looking to, and moving forward in life, and like even when it comes to like moving out of state and trying to go somewhere, I'm not trying to move where you are per se, but I want to do something that makes me happy. I feel like for a long time I have not lived in a state of happiness because I have not been happy, because I haven't been doing the things that I wanted to do, because people are going to say, and not just family but people in general are going to say this or that. It's not an easy thing to be a preacher's kid. We have been preacher's kids since we were kids, and then you add on another layer, and then now our mom becomes a pastor, and it's a whole nother. I'm like, come on, mom, you don't be no pastor. So then you add another layer to that, another layer of people that are setting expectations on you, and people just, I think people just need to realize, although you expect, like I know, like parents expect, you expect your child to be good, you expect your child to be great, you expect when you take your child to daycare, when you take them to school, that when they come home they're going to get a good report. And if they don't, but those are their learning years, those are the years that you have been given to teach them. But then there's this at age that they come, that they go, and at 18 or 17 or 18 years old, where they graduate, and most of them go away to college. I didn't do that. So
Right.
I still was like living my life, trying to live my life, but still in front of family, like that was looking at me like, you don't look like you wasn't praising God. You didn't take communion today. I didn't want any juice and crackers. I'm sorry. No, I'm playing. But like when you have those types of things, I think it makes it harder. And I don't know if they're what age, you know what I mean? I think it's just when you have a reckoning within yourself, when you have settled with inside of yourself to say, listen, I can't do this anymore. And when you have a realization that I will never meet your expectation, and that's okay. Um, I think that's when I personally have been able to move forward in my life and say, I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'd have made it to 42, and man, I'm just gonna do what I feel like doing because that's what I feel like doing. And is everybody gonna be happy with it? No. Is that gonna make me sad? No.
It's really not.
No, I can't. I can't. I only have one life, and especially having been so close to death my own self and realizing like I haven't even done half the stuff that I want to do. No, nah. I don't have any more time to waste. I definitely agree with you that it doesn't. There's no love lost with my family. It doesn't mean because I'm not looking for their approval that I don't love them. I'm just not looking for their approval anymore because I'm living my life. And that's all I can do. And that's all I ask for them to do too. I can't have expectation of them like I want y'all to be because they're not. They're not they are themselves and people have to live in their truth and be their true selves, their true authentic selves. And I feel like for so long I haven't been able to be my authentic self around people that are my family that know me.
Hmm.
Um, so that's my piece on it. I think it's when you look at even when the young lady was saying that I don't think that she's not married now. I think at some point in her life she had opportunity to be married and was kind of discouraged away from it, but realized and recognized at this point you maybe that's not what you wanted, but this is what I want to do. And man, my train of thought just left me. Oh, send it back, Lord, send it back.
Is it coming?
Nope. How I do that right in the middle of a sentence? It
And
just
oh, you said you don't know. You're not saying that she's not married now, but at some point she was like, "Hey, that may not be what you wanted."
thank you. So I was saying, with families or parents or things that kind of try to push their perspectives or the things that they maybe didn't get to do in life and kind of like push that on you. Not to say that really happened to me, but just in general, like if you're not even sometimes I don't even think like even when family, like I said earlier, I don't even think they consciously think that they're doing something wrong. I
Mhm.
really think that, people just believe that I just want to see the good. I want to see you win. I want to see you make it. And like you said, they don't realize the pressure and the weight that really comes with that. That is heavy. It is heavy. You, like you said, have always been in the mindset, like, I'm not really following what y'all doing. Me, on the other hand, I haven't been away. I felt weighted at times. I felt very weighted at times
Mhm.
of trying to meet everyone's expectations. And I got my focus off of who's what is important to you. And my right now my goal is am I meeting your expectation?
Hello. Mhm.
That's what I wanted to say.
And I think that a couple of things. Number one is this is something that I actually often talk to my mom about because I actually can appreciate that that I can talk to her about that and how I view certain things and why I'm viewing them the way that I am viewing them. Um, I want to say two things though, because a lot of times we talk about people of the old and the old way that they've come, and it's not like how it was before. It's not like when you were coming up, and that is true. But what I want to say to the younger generation is that even though things are changing and evolving, and you are a part of leading that's coming up now, um, you can't negate or or discourage or disregard or discard the older's experiences, right?
Mhm.
That was their experience. That
True.
was what they knew. That was what they did, and that was what they had at that time. You weren't at that time. So I don't like to discard their experiences, but I do like to bring them up to know it's not there where it was. And that's not to discard. That's not to say, anything bad or anything like that. But I do like to just bring that up that there's an even balance to what was in life, in faith and work in the workforce. Like, things was no working from home
Mm-hmm.
in the 80s, like, you know what I mean?
True.
So it's just not, it's different where it is now, but that's not to discard you getting up every day, getting dressed, putting on your best and showing up so that you could get paid and support your family. Like, it doesn't discard those things, but it's just you have to come to a meeting of where you are now. And I also want to say something to people that are preachers kids, that happen to come across this podcast. I know that sometimes they get looked at, and I feel like it's very either A or B. It's very
Hmm.
either you're right under, you're following, everyone's pushing you, telling you that this is what you have to be, this is what you're going to be, or it's you're going so far away from it because of your experience with it. The important thing to me was, and what I did was, I got into my own relationship with God. So it wasn't people pushing me into something that I was never going to be pushed into. That was never me. That was never my call. That was never what I was supposed to be doing. And it doesn't make me any less than. It doesn't make me anything else of this perception that you put into it. So I encourage those that feel like they just have to go all the way this way. You don't. You just have to
Hmm.
take a minute to
Hmm.
just decide for yourself what works best for you, what looks best for you. You can't worry about people, and sometimes that's a very hard thing to do, and people they'll try to they'll try to have words of all of these things, and it's all based off of the perception of what they see in your parents. That's not everybody, and there's some people where it is the calling, and you are going to find out. Okay, look at Sarah Jakes.
Right.
Okay, she had a whole time of going away and being hurt, and going through that terrible scrutiny of being the bishop's daughter and having her pregnancy and all of that. And now, once she leaned in, she was able to lean. The thing that I like about the entire what's the word, not transaction, Jesus. What I like about the entire, like transferring or transformation of her, um is that she is alongside her dad, and she is the assistant pastor of the Potter's house, but she's in her own way. You
Right.
can't and I'm sure she has different pressures and things of that now, but she's totally stepped into her own.
Right.
She totally stepped into her own. Regardless of what you think about Women Now Are Loose and how her dad did it, and what you think about the brunches her mom is doing, none of that is me. I'm doing what I'm called to do in the
Right.
realm that she's called to do it in. And that I give her the utmost respect for, because she's doing it at a high level. And you're not pushing her into something that's just not her and never has been her. I look at her, I see some clips from her interviews and things of that nature. Her perception, how she feels and who she is, she stands on that. And
That's
it's not this, terrible thing, and she's this terrible child, and this is that. No. And she's able to actually be effective, especially in the lives of women. And I also saw a clip of David Evans talking to his son, I believe David Evans Jr., if not, it was the other son, and whatever his name is. And he apologized to him. And he said, I remember when you wanted to play the piano. And I was like, get up off that piano. You're not playing no piano. You need to be playing football and doing all of this. Because that was what David wanted. He wanted to play, David Evans Sr. wanted to play football. And so because he didn't get the chance, he was telling his child, get off the piano and you need to be playing football. When the whole time the child was musically gifted. And
Oh,
so
then he must have been talking to that's Anthony,
Anthony,
the one
okay,
that sings. Yeah.
he was talking to Anthony. I'm sorry, I don't know these kids. So he was talking to Anthony Evans. So the whole time the child was musically gifted, and you're trying to push onto something that you just think should be. That's not always the case. When the Bible says train up a child in the way that they should go, and David Evans even said this, it's talking about the entire life and livelihood of the child. I think that people that there's so many people where they like miss, like we have an uncle who should have been a football player, but it was considered the devil when they was growing up. So he couldn't play football. And could have played football, could have delivered the family from the struggle. Like, and this is the stuff that I talked to my mom about. There's so much missing. And all we're telling people is like, no, do this, and do this. Or you should be doing this because of your mom or your dad or your uncle, whoever. Or you should be doing this because of this person. You should be doing this because of that person. I'm just not here for that. There's things that have been spoken to me that God has spoken over my life, and I'm saying that I'm asking him to order my steps to accomplish that.
I'm sorry. I just want to correct you on something. It's Tony Evans. Because he's
Oh, Tony Evans. Oh my
I'm
goodness.
like
They
David
called
Evans.
Bethany.
Yes.
My bad. Tony Evans.
I'm like, I don't think that's that man's name.
All right. It's
Right.
Tony Evans.
Yes.
Tony Evans. And he was talking to Anthony, right?
Right, because Anthony is Anthony Jr.
How's he a junior? Is Tony Anthony Jr.? Wait, how's Anthony a junior?
Anthony Tony Evans' real name is Anthony Evans. Never mind. Because the way
When
you
did
said
that
it, you
happen?
were so serious.
I'm talking about Bishop Tony Evans. His real name is Anthony.
Mhm.
Sir, I did not know that. That's why I'm like, now how is Anthony a junior when his dad name is Tony? Because Tony is a short for it. Okay,
Correct.
and that's why I
The
didn't.
level of confusion that you
That's
just
why I did not see that at the time.
was so serious, though. Now, how
How
you
he getting it? And that's okay. Okay, I will own that.
Yes, it is. Okay.
I absolutely did not correlate the two and two together. Um, But I appreciated that. And so I was explaining to my mom that, to be honest with you, and I can appreciate that I actually do have these conversations. Like, even when I go to my uncle's house for Christmas or something, I sit down and talk to him too. Because I still do respect these people in my life. But I sit down and talk to them and have the same conversations. I'm like, you know what I think? And you know what I'm finding that I realize, and the reason why I'm so bold about it is because I have made up my mind. I'm not gonna be 70 years old and having some regrets, or having these things that I never reached, that I never attained, that I never got because of people, when
Mhm.
that's not what was said, that's not what was spoken. And I just don't believe that that was the that was the intention of God. So instead of me sitting there with regret and not having accomplished nearly the amount of what I could based off of what he said, I'd rather start thinking about things differently and getting. I look at people now that run businesses and just how they think about things, and people that even, like, run churches and things like that. And I even was talking to mommy about this. It was very interesting because a clip came up based off of our conversation, which is how I know y'all listening on them phones. But there was honestly so much that wasn't taught. It just
Right.
was not taught. It
Mhm.
wasn't. It wasn't taught. And so a lot of us, I'm sorry, are living beneath our privileges. And a lot of it has to do with what we just don't know. But I watch people that are taught, people that are trained, people that have the whole roundness, people that are getting life and life more abundantly. I wish above all that your soul that you be in health as your soul may be. I watch people that are getting
Alzheimer's.
all of what God has to offer based off of what they learned, what they had to walk away from, expectations they had to be like, I'm not doing that, and how they had to come into their own. And that's exactly where I am in life. I don't see a problem with it. And and it's supportive, and there's some people that have, been said things and been like, no, I don't, and that's fine. But I'm gonna get it. And I said I said to mommy, I was like, people people be preaching and they be like, you don't need another sermon about prosperity. And I'm like, actually I do. And she gonna start laughing. I was like, oh, sir, because you keep telling me that I don't need, that you already have that. You attain that. You already have that. I'm not walking in that. So I do need a little encouragement. I do need some direction. I do need some faith. I do need some, some revelation. We do need some financial classes and things of that nature, of teaching you how to walk into wealth and get certain things.
Right.
Stop just trying to, I ain't gonna get into that because that's a whole separate separate thing. But no, there is a lot that hasn't. There's a lot of people that haven't been taught, and because you're walking in it, it doesn't mean you get to decide. You know what I mean? Like, no, there's people that you need to be teaching that aspect of well. And being released of people's opinions and expectations is one of the best places that you can get to, because it means you're truly going after who you are, what it is that you're accomplished to do, what you're destined to do, and you will start seeing the success turn around from that when you're released from people and family.
Right.
I think that was the young lady's point in the clip as well.
Yeah.
A lot of things, and it was also his point as well. You got to find the tribe that's going where you're going. It's not always family.
Right.
Newsflash, that's okay.
Right.
That's okay. It ain't y'all. It's not your family. And that's fine. But to get everything that you're supposed to get and that you're supposed to have, and you're accomplishing what you were placed on this earth to do, you really gonna have to let people and their opinions and their perceptions of you go. And I will say, to your point, that's not always an easy thing. But
Hmm.
when you get there, it really is a freeing thing. So however you need to get free, get free.
Amen. Well, we ended on a good note. I really hope somebody is encouraged on today. Get
Yes.
get freed on today. And just, just enjoy yourself and enjoy life. We got
Please.
enough things in life that happen to us that can be a Debbie Downer, but when you choose every day to say, listen, I'm going to focus on the sun, whether it's shining at night or not, because the sun is still behind the clouds. So it's got to come through at some point in time. And if I set my focus on that, I don't have to be so concerned about the storm around me. And so,
Can I give you a song?
go ahead.
The sun will come out
Oh my God.
tomorrow, but you gotta hang on to tomorrow. First of all, because you're not even ready. And that was so good.
But you know what the thing is, as
But
long as
my
you
shit. Shut up. Shut up. Here we go. Then you were so serious. But you know what the thing is? As long as you're
I know
serious,
how I get cut off. I was just gonna
you can be seriously ignorant.
say.
I tell you about that one thing you said that I always be like, now, Nikki, we been stopped. Like I said, that's one of the funniest things to me.
So
You was
serious.
like, but you know what? If you, nope, hurt my feelings like that. No.
Yes, the sun will come out tomorrow.
Wait, I was asking, I saw this, I forgot to ask this question. You get paid $1 million to do something better than somebody else. What are you doing? I asked mommy and daddy this. You're gonna get paid a million
Sleep.
dollars, huh?
No, I wouldn't. I said sleep,
To
but that's a
sleep?
lie. Yeah, but that's a
Like,
lie because I can't even stay asleep the few hours that I get.
yeah, because as soon as somebody starts snoring, you lost $1 million because you was like,
Right. Um,
you
better
get paid
than
a million,
somebody?
you get paid $1 million to do something better than somebody. So how about I said sing and mommy and daddy they was just and I was like, well, if I'm going up against you, mom, I would get the $1 million. She was like, you're not going up against me, and nor can you. So I said, you know what? Mommy said hers was. I thought she was good. I said she should have said preacher. She was like, no, because it says who I'm going up against. Dad was like, yeah, because if Noah
Right.
comes out there, we're gonna lose $1 million. And I was like, no, no, you gotta be confident you can hold your own. She said, oh, she said hers was make corn, make that corn that she made that everybody be going crazy over. First of all, that's grandma's country.
Correct. Like, bro, nah, because if grandma's still alive,
She like, hey, rest in peace to my mother-in-law, but I'm making this corn, I'm making this $1 million. And Daddy said his was driving and avoiding accidents.
that would be true. That would
He
be
was like,
true.
I'm a good driver. I was like, oh.
He used to be. Now he just drive like an old man. Like, he drives, but nah. I know. Giving directions.
Oh, that's a good one.
You from point A to point B.
You had to give directions better than somebody else.
And I was
Wow.
giving directions well before GPS was around.
Hello? Yep, that's true. And trust me, as soon as GPS came out, that was the first thing they had to buy me. Okay.
Oh God. Remember y'all kept telling me I should work for a GPS company?
Yeah, I was looking up Tom jobs because I was like, nigga, get paid for that. They was making the GPSs, the portable before the phones had them, the portable ones you had to buy.
Mhm.
And y'all bought me one because I'm telling you, I can get lost in my own head, let alone.
Not in your head, Jesus.
So I said, there, depending on who it is. No, why, Daddy? Before he said drive, he said play the drums. Boy, me and me fell out. I said, well, you gonna get that money.
You sure not. Now you need to
I was
stop.
like, what? I said, I didn't say what time period they was. I said, yeah, if you playing from somebody in the 70s with you, maybe. I said, but if we put up a drummer, honey,
You're
it will
not
be
in the running.
the first 3 seconds. They'll be like, Frank, you can go ahead and take a seat. You're out. The only thing you can do is boop, 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 boop. And I'm like, the way they be
Daddy,
like,
but no.
I was like, you're not,
You're
you're gonna
not.
be like, I can't do all that.
Sure would. Be like, my hand hurt.
So he gonna
Stop
start laughing. He was like, oh, all right. And that's when he came up with the driving one.
driving. Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I was asking them, I was like, I couldn't think of one for me. I was like, what's one for me? What can I do? And if I did it better than somebody, I would get the $1 million.
Talk.
I do want my own talk show.
Did they give you yeah, I could be a
No,
producer.
they couldn't think of one. And when I said singing, mom was like, well, like Nikki said, sometimes you do gotta lie a little bit, even if you're lying to yourself.
Not mommy,
I
bro.
actually went to bed and stopped talking to them. I went to bed. Can I just tell y'all this story really
Oh
quick?
wow.
I was in, I stayed at my parents' house this past weekend because I had to go get my annual checkup with the doctor, and I had to, I guess, my annual blood work, just annual stuff. And I was getting my hair done. So I'm at my parents' house. Now, the room, their guest room is kind of like right outside their front door. So I had came home after being out to dinner with my best friend. Went to dinner. I came home. They were coming home. My mom had a speaking engagement. She was out. My father didn't see my car, so he's like, "Yeah, did Jackie tell you where she was where she was going? Did she check in with you?" Now, see, this is why she already got to go home outside. Then he comes in the house, and he's like, and he before I left, he had asked. I said, "I also have to stop at Target. Do you need anything?" He asked me to get him some Reese's. Okay. So when he came in the house, after he's talking about me outside, he comes in the house. He sees, and then my mom says, I see, this is why don't nobody want to stay here with you. Ain't nothing wrong, ain't no discipline, never hurt nobody. Then he comes and he's like, you know what? She done been here and went back out. And ain't nobody heard. Look at her putting Reese's on the table trying to butter me up. He asked me to get him, I wasn't buttering him up. Furthermore, I'm in the bed in the guest bedroom. I'm there. Finally, as he turns around to come to his room, he sees me. This dude goes say, "Oh, hey, sweetie, how was dinner?" I said, "My God, today." I said, and then I literally, I had my phone in my hand. I said, "I heard you've talked about me since you were outside the door. So now," and he's like, "I didn't see your car." Okay,
Not a reason, Daddy.
you can't do that.
He
So
don't be caring. He do not care.
he's like, "Well."
He will talk about us in our
He was
face
like,
behind
"You
it. He
called
don't
me."
care.
Yeah, so that happened. And I wasn't gonna tell on you, Daddy, but I had to tell on you.
Oh my gosh.
But that's all.
Well, I I get. Well, that ends this episode. We want to say thank you for watching and thank you for tuning in. If you made it to the end, we really appreciate you for staying. Once again, don't forget to hit that subscribe, that like button, and don't forget that notification so you can know when we drop a video. Until next time, have a good one. Bye.